What's going on, everybody? Coming to you live out of Hog Holler. Decided to go full screen. There's no use of trying to hide too much anymore. I don't think. I was always afraid that somebody, the less I showed, the better off I'd be. Didn't want too many people to see too much where I was at and things that's going on. You know, I thought if I kept it small screen, it would be better hiding my identity and stuff. But I don't think, as many times as I've been up here now, I think I can spread out and go widescreen. But it's about to get dark on me up here, so I want to hurry this story along. When I was younger, my aunt and uncle, they lived in this house, and it was pretty run down. They didn't have a lot of money. It was more or less a shack. It's still standing today, and somebody lives in it. I think they've redone it a little bit over on, it's off River Divide Road. But anyhow, I remember when I was a kid, my aunt got to telling my mom and some of my mom's sisters that she would be sitting alone and she would hear a knock at the door, and there would never be nobody at the door. And the way her porch was, she could look out. There was like a big 4-foot window on each side of the door, and then plus a screen door, so if anybody was come up on the porch and knocked, she would have seen them. But she claimed this got to happen pretty regularly in the middle of the day. And I barely remember as a kid. I remember it scared me to death. I guess I couldn't have been no more than 7 years old. And we was over there at their house, and it was in the middle of the day again. And I don't know if that's why we was there, to hear this knock, or if it's just coincidence, but I was on the floor doing something, playing with something, I don't remember, when I heard the knock on the door. And it's kind of aggressive knock. And I remember jumping up because I thought, I'm going to see what's doing this. I'm going to see, you know, who's playing a joke here. But there wasn't no kids that lived anywhere around them. There wasn't really a whole lot of neighbors, just woods, mountains. Before I could get to the door, I remember my grandmother hollering and my aunts hollering, "Whoa, whoa, do not open that door. Do not open that door." And I remember looking out the screen door, and there was nothing or nobody. And I mean, the third knock didn't get finished knocking until I was up, moving fast, looking. Once I seen the way they reacted, I remember being scared and it freaking me out and everything. I didn't sleep good for a long time. Well, I always ask what happened about the knocks. And the story I got from the rest of my aunts was that my aunt had a, what the old folks call a granny witch, come over to their house and kind of do a little investigating. And she told my aunt that what was knocking on her door was something from out of the woods, from out of the mountains, something evil, something dark. And if she would open the door to it, it would give it access not only to her house, her home, but it would also give access to her life. And she told her, whatever you do, don't ever open this door for these knocks. So she never would open the door. The knocks continued. They even started at nighttime some. And the nighttime knocks, they said, was real aggressive. So this granny witch, she came back, and I don't know whatever granny witches do, but she kind of, what you might say, cleansed or blessed the house. And the knocks would go away for 6 months, sometimes a year. But they said they always returned. They always come back. Whatever the granny witch done, it would retreat this evil, or whatever it is, back up into the woods. There was an old cave above my uncle's house, and I think they thought it come from it. But it would stop for a while, and then it would start back up again. And she got another lady to come over that was supposedly a psychic, and the lady told her that there was an attachment to a wood stove that she had. That wood stove had actually been in a house fire that someone died in. And my uncle purchased this old wood stove used. And lo and behold, he told her, yeah, it was in a house that burnt. Don't know if anybody died in or not, but he did confirm to his wife that it was in an old house, and the old house caught on fire and burnt. Of course, even if he did know someone died in it, he wouldn't have told her anyway. So you don't know if which one of these ladies was right. Maybe they was both right. Maybe there was something to both of it. Maybe something evil was attracted to things and places where bad stuff had happened. I've always heard that. People's warned me about walking up here in the graveyard. Said that nothing good comes from being up here in the graveyard. I always found it peaceful. But since I'd put those pictures on that I took in the graveyard in Cades Cove, where I caught all those things at, somebody commented that there's nothing good in the graveyard but misery and sadness, and anything evil flocks to that. So they might be onto something there. But I don't know. It always felt peaceful to me. So anyway, back to the knocks. So I'd asked my uncle about the knocks, and I knew that was my mom's brother, so my grandmother's son. So my grandmother told me all these stories and warnings, so I knew that she had told my uncle as a child too. But he would get furious when you would ask him about anything supernatural at all. This is the same uncle that I went hunting with all my life, that I did the video on where I saw the UFO or saw something in the sky. This was the same one. And if you mentioned anything, that he was a simple man, anything he didn't understand, he got angry. And I never could figure it out. Later I figured it was fear, maybe. But he never would talk about it at all. I'd ask him about the knocks, and I'd ask him about their house, because there was other things that went on in their house. And as I got a little older after the knocks, I had to stay in the house with him. My mom was in and out of the hospital when I was young, and my dad drove a truck, so I went from aunt to uncle, from uncle to aunt. That's how I've got so many stories. I kind of stayed a little bit of everywhere. So they all talked to me and told me stories. But I remember being there at the night time, sleeping on their couch, and having, you know, little weird things happening to me. Sleep paralysis was a nightly thing. Hearing stuff walk around on the boards creaking and stuff. Him and her went to bed with the chickens, so I knew it wasn't them. But the old house was creepy. He died in 85 and she died in 90. So I don't know how long those knocks come back, how often they come back, and if they still come back. The house was sold with the old wood stove in it, and I'm assuming that it's still probably in that old house. I know it's still got a wood heater. When you drive by, you can look and tell. So I've always wondered if the people who live there now have any trouble, if anything goes on. Of course, they've cleared out some lots around it and built a few more houses, but back in the day, there was nothing there. There was nothing at all. So it made you wonder, did that stuff really climb out of the mountains, out of the darkness? These mountains hold a whole lot of evil, a whole lot of darkness, a whole lot of beauty. The beauty's just enticing enough. It's like a snake that's real beautiful but poisonous to bite you. So you gotta handle it with care. But I did want to tell y'all about the knocks. I remember that plain as day, sitting there on the floor and hearing the 3 loud knocks, and then seeing the reaction on everybody, all the grown-ups' face, seeing the fear on their face struck fear into me. And I'd never, ever forgot that. Just a quick short story for y'all. I put a picture on the other day. Somebody had sent me, said from somewhere in Appalachia. I took the picture down. I saw it on somebody else's YouTube channel. And I don't know if the picture was actually from Appalachia or not. So if I can't, most time I try to prove the stuff I say or show some evidence, like with coins, street name signs, whatever I can do. I try to back up what I say best I can. But I thought, well, maybe somebody lied to me. So I did take it down. I don't know that they did. I don't know that they didn't. I don't know who had the picture from first, but I had took that down. And in the last video I made, An Evil Place, I was so nervous when I was shooting that video, going back there, that I had said a lot of stuff wrong. My mind was not on telling the story at all, but was what was around me. I felt like I was being watched. I'd seen something up on the bank, kind of looked like somebody or something had went behind a tree, and that kind of bothered me. I said stuff like Wiccan when I meant to say pagan, or just evil people. I don't know. I can't tell you what I said because I was so nervous. And after I'd got home and posted that, for nights I had just weird nightmares and dreams. You can't imagine the stuff I saw in my nightmares and dreams. So I took the video down. Kind of seemed like the dreams went away. I don't know if that's coincidental or not, but I've put it back up since then. I thought I would explain a little bit. If I seem like I'm off my game a little bit in that video, I am. I'm very nervous. I said I'd never go back, but I'm actually thinking about going back and facing my fears one last time. If I do it, I'll have to do it soon, because it's a very snaky place there. Try to think back about the image I saw that night that looked like something cloaked. I've played that over 1,000,000 times in my mind, and I don't know if it was somebody trying to scare us off from down there. I don't know if it was just the way it looked, you know, just a pareidolia, but I definitely felt like I saw something. So was my friend. We definitely heard stuff laughing. Definitely heard whispers the next day when we went back. So I hadn't been back there since, until that last video. That place is just right over there. But anyway, guys, I'll get off from here. I wanted to tell you about the knocks and tell you why I was kind of off my game in the last video. But I'll get back on here and tell y'all some more stories. I've got some more saved up, some more about my aunt and uncle's house. I stayed there when I was young. I'm going to ask some of my relatives that are still living, that are older, if they can remember it. I'm going to ask them about the knocks, what they remember about it, and whatever happened to it. I remember my aunt telling me that she thought the green lady had, which was a known witch around here, I done a video on them, had put a curse on them because my uncle had been hunting on their land. So there's so many ways that this story could have went, or how it could have happened, and I'm not sure about any of them. But I think it's time for me to scoot on out of here and get out of this graveyard. I've wandered around here on the bad side of the graveyard. I didn't mean to. But anyway, guys, I'll get back on here and holler at you, man. Talk to you guys later. Thanks.